What really happened behind closed doors? Why did Taehyung look so shaken after Jungkook's confession? And what secret has ARMY never been told until now? What if everything ARMY thought they understood about Jungkook, and Taehyung was only the surface of a much deeper, more emotional story? What if the smiles, the shared stages, and the unspoken bond were actually hiding a truth that, once revealed, would leave Taehyung silently hurting and millions of fans questioning everything? Before you read further, ask yourself this. Are you ready to face a story that might change the way you see BTS forever? If this story makes your heart race or your thoughts spiral, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because your voice as ARMY matters more than ever in moments like this. ARMY was not prepared for the emotional shock that rippled through the fandom when Jungkook finally broke his silence. For years, fans had sensed something lingering beneath the surface of his relationship with Taehyung, something unspoken yet powerful, something that could be felt in glances, pauses, and moments where words seemed unnecessary. When Jungkook's confession came out, it didn't explode loudly. Instead, it landed quietly, heavily, like a truth that had been waiting too long to be acknowledged. And then came the reaction that no one expected: Taehyung's sadness. At first, ARMY didn't want to believe it. Taehyung, known for his emotional depth yet resilient charm, had always appeared composed, even playful, whenever questions about relationships or misunderstandings arose. But this time felt different. Something in his demeanor shifted. His eyes seemed distant, his smile slower, his presence quieter. Fans began to ask themselves unsettling questions. If Jungkook had finally spoken honestly, why did Taehyung look like he was carrying a weight instead of relief? Was the confession healing old wounds, or reopening them? The confession itself was layered, careful, and emotional. Jungkook did not accuse, nor did he dramatize. He spoke as someone who had been holding on to a truth for too long, unsure of the right time, the right words, or the right courage to let it out. He hinted at a relationship defined by closeness that went beyond what was shown, by sacrifices that were never explained, and by decisions made in silence for the sake of something bigger than personal feelings. For ARMY, it felt like a puzzle piece snapping into place, yet the picture it formed was far more complex than expected. What Jungkook revealed was not just about connection, but about concealment. He spoke about how certain aspects of their bond had been deliberately hidden, not out of shame, but out of necessity. The pressure of the spotlight, the expectations of millions, and the fragile balance of group harmony had all played a role. While many fans assumed this truth would bring clarity and peace, the reality appeared far more painful, especially for Taehyung. Taehyung's reaction became the emotional center of the story. Those close to the situation noticed subtle changes. His tone softened, his words became more reflective, and his usual spontaneity seemed restrained. For someone as expressive as Taehyung, this quiet sadness spoke volumes. ARMY began to wonder if hearing Jungkook finally articulate what had been hidden made Taehyung realize just how long he had endured in silence, or how deeply the secrecy had affected him. The emotional tension was impossible to ignore. Fans replayed old clips, reread lyrics, and revisited interviews with new eyes. Moments that once seemed playful now felt heavy with meaning. Lyrics that spoke of distance, misunderstanding, and longing suddenly sounded personal. Was this the pain Taehyung had been channeling all along? Was Jungkook's confession a relief for himself, but a reminder for Taehyung of everything he had quietly accepted? What makes this story even more heartbreaking is the absence of blame. There are no villains here, only two individuals navigating an impossible situation. Jungkook's honesty came from a place of growth and courage, yet honesty does not always heal instantly. Sometimes it exposes scars that never truly closed. Taehyung's sadness seemed to reflect that reality. He was not angry, not defensive, but introspective, as if processing emotions he had postponed for years. ARMY, known for its emotional intelligence and deep connection to BTS, responded with mixed feelings. Some felt relief that the truth was finally acknowledged. Others felt guilt for speculating for so long, wondering if their curiosity had contributed to the pressure that forced such secrecy in the first place. Many fans expressed concern for Taehyung, asking whether he was getting the support he needed, whether his silence was a sign of healing or heartbreak. The hidden relationship, as described through Jungkook's words, was never about drama or scandal. It was about protection. Protecting each other, protecting the group, and protecting the dream they had built together. Yet protection often comes at a cost. For Taehyung, that cost seemed to manifest as emotional exhaustion. Hearing Jungkook speak openly may have validated his experiences, but it also confirmed how much he had given up without acknowledgement. There is something profoundly human about this moment. It reminds ARMY that behind global fame and flawless performances are individuals with real emotions, real vulnerabilities, and real pain. Taehyung's sadness is not weakness. It is evidence of how deeply he feels, how seriously he takes connections, and how much he values honesty, even when it hurts. As days passed, fans noticed how Jungkook seemed more careful, more attentive. His actions suggested awareness, perhaps even regret for the unintended pain his confession caused. This subtle shift added another layer to the story. It wasn't just about revealing the past, but about navigating the present with empathy and respect. The bond between Jungkook and Taehyung, though strained, still appeared rooted in understanding. The silence between them became louder than any statement. ARMY interpreted every interaction, every shared glance, every moment of distance or closeness. Was this a phase of adjustment, or a sign of something permanently changed? The uncertainty fueled emotional discussions across the fandom, uniting fans in concern rather than conflict. What makes this revelation so powerful is its lack of finality. There is no clear resolution, no dramatic conclusion. Instead, there is a sense of ongoing healing. Taehyung's sadness feels like a chapter, not an ending. It suggests that emotions are being processed honestly, without rushing toward a forced sense of closure. This story also challenges ARMY to reflect on their role as fans. How much do we demand without realizing it? How often do we celebrate vulnerability without considering its cost? Jungkook's confession and Taehyung's reaction serve as a reminder that idols are not immune to the emotional consequences of secrecy and exposure. As the dust settles, one thing becomes clear. Whatever was hidden between Jungkook and Taehyung was never meaningless. It shaped them, challenged them, and connected them in ways that words still struggle to capture. Taehyung's sadness is not just about the past being revealed, but about acknowledging the weight of what was carried alone for so long. ARMY now stands at a crossroads of understanding. Will fans choose empathy over speculation, patience over pressure? The story is still unfolding, and the next chapter depends not only on Jungkook and Taehyung, but also on how ARMY responds. So now the question returns heavier than before. Did Jungkook's honesty finally set them free? Or did it expose a pain that can only be healed with time? And as Taehyung processes his emotions in quiet strength, one can't help but wonder, is this sadness the beginning of healing, or the echo of a truth that arrived too late? If this story moved you, confused you, or made you question what you thought you knew, share your thoughts. Leave a comment, let ARMY hear your voice, and don't forget to like and subscribe so we can continue exploring the stories that connect us beyond the music. As the emotional atmosphere continued to thicken, ARMY began to realize that this was not a moment that would pass quickly. The silence that followed Jungkook's confession was not empty. It was filled with reflection, unanswered questions, and feelings that could no longer be ignored. Taehyung's sadness did not fade overnight. Instead, it lingered in subtle ways, appearing in moments when he paused before speaking, when his gaze drifted away as if lost in thought, and when his usual warmth carried a quieter tone. Behind the scenes, the weight of years seemed to surface all at once. The hidden relationship Jungkook spoke about was not simply a matter of privacy. It was a shared journey marked by restraint. Taehyung, who had always expressed himself through art, music, and emotion, now appeared to be confronting memories he had carefully locked away.